guys ready?
It's the plan, Bobby.
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always winged it.
We're gonna get killed.
What you mean, we, white boy?
You ready?
Here we go.
What up? Welcome into the OG NBA betting show. We got all my guys here with me, Babano, Dutch, Wham Bam, and NBA. Man, we talked about it a little bit right before the show started. Could have been a really, really good night, but I still profited just a tiny bit, but could have been really good if a couple teams just finished the game. Dutchy, how you feeling today?
The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you're looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. Hey, went to sleep a little salty last night. Won't lie to you. Man. How the fuck San Antonio get that game away? We talked about it, and that shit gonna linger until we start talking about something else. God damn it. Shout out to Sweaty Butcher. Mr. Exotic in the building. Good to see you, my man. Peter King, I see you. Rez Mob in the building. Good to see you, my man. Charles White. We got them all in the chat. Run up them likes. Let's get to the motherfucking window. We got a card today that looks kind of like the day shit at the motherfucking strip club. But when we get to the bottom of that bitch, we got a little diamond in the rough, I believe. You know what I mean? Like that bitch shine like all the outside of it, the rest of them. I'm looking forward to that one. But I think we got a little something in between. But I really like the late game, and I believe y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's go.
Babano, how you feeling?
Yeah, well, we're in the single digits, I think, for losing in bad NBA days, and unfortunately, last night was one of those. To add to the ledger, I haven't had many, but last night was not the best. San Antonio obviously was that was the swing game. That was the game that was going to put it in profit for me if they had won, and unfortunately, we saw what happened. The New York Knicks, I like them, and they get absolutely lose at home decisively with Orlando with over half their roster out. Obviously, wrong side with Toronto. Good call for you guys that like Milwaukee there. Indiana was good for me at least. And look, we were on the right page with Phoenix. Phoenix got the job done last night. We kind of thought that with the Suns changing the rotation a bit, Philly a little untrustworthy, that the Suns had a chance to bounce back, get back in the win column, and they did. So it wasn't all bad, but obviously a couple of late game swings hurt us. But that's all right. That's old news. It's a new day today.
What's good with you up there, Wham Bam?
Yeah, I'm all right. I had Wemby last night, terrible. KD last night, terrible. The Bucks did what they were supposed to do. Shout out to the people in the chat. We got on Tobias. But other than that, man, it was a bad day. So we're going to get to it today. Like my guy just said, let's not let it linger. We got moves to make. We got Caillou to shake. So let's get to it, man.
Rockets and Wizards. This one definitely moved. Open Rockets -9. We're looking at 13 right now. And the total is down a point to 224. As far as injuries, I see Eason and Jalen Green, both game time decision. Or Eason is doubtful. For Washington, Poole looks like he's questionable. Your boy Cool Breeze, Carrington, all questionable. And no Brogdon, Sadiq Bey for the Wizards. I guess I'll go to you first here, Babano, on this game. I think it's very hard to talk me into taking the Wizards. They haven't really shown me any life. Can you take them now at +13?
No. I don't want to lay this many though with Houston. I mean, if you got 9.5, 10, even 10.5, 11, okay, but 13.5 is getting a little bit rich. I think maybe you could talk me into Washington team total under 105.5. They didn't get to 100 points in the last game against New Orleans. And if they're not scoring 100 points at home against New Orleans, how are you going to trust them to put up points here against the Rockets? A better defensive team than that. A Rockets team, we'll see again how they fare. They're off the 119-115 win against the Lakers. They do have Memphis on deck after this. Like I say, I'm not running to lay points of this magnitude. The Rockets, they're not always the most trustworthy double-digit favorites. So I didn't bet the game, but I'll throw out Wizards team total under for something. I would lean in that direction.
Anything from you on this Rockets Wizards Wham Bam?
It got to be the first quarter. I mean, we've been taking the first quarter pretty in these big spreads for the Wizards, and they're nasty. It's hard to do it. He said, Charles White say, Wham, Lil Wham, what's the play? Lil Wham probably got a lot of plays right now. He all graped up. He got a lot of sugar in him right now. But I think he would tell us probably to tread lightly with this Rockets fade, because they've been one of the best first quarter teams so far in this league. It's just as of late, they're not that good. But at home, they're 9-1, I believe. I'm sorry, on the road, on the road, they're 9-1 ATS in the last 10. So it is hard to fade them in the first quarter, but I think this is the only thing I would want to do is take this big +4 with the Wizards in the first quarter. And something that we've been doing low key all year so far, just finding these good spots for the Wizards. So I think they have been pretty good too, the Wizards in the first quarter. I think they're 7-2-1 ATS. Yeah, they're 7-2-1 ATS over the last 10 games in the first quarter. So it's not like they haven't been covering, but this is a big spread. So, all they got to do is just be under 2 possessions. I like the first quarter with the Wizards. That's the only thing I would get to the window with.
Dutch, can you get to the window with anything here?
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy, Marquell in the building. I see you, my dude. Saturated. BD in the building. Mo Harris, I see you, my man. I see you. I should tell you one thing. I sure as hell did not come on this show to talk about this bum-ass motherfucking game. Back with this bitch, goddammit.
Is bad for your health.
Hey, I can't blame you on that one. We're going to go for Suns and Hornets. And I don't know if this one's too much better, but opened up Suns -4. Looks like 4.5. And the total went from 224 as high as, I see a 220. It might be a stale number because I see mostly 225.5. So Royce O'Neal out for the Suns. Seth Curry, time. Trey Mann out. And Curry is actually probable. So Hornets becoming a little bit healthier now. Suns on a back-to-back here. I like what I saw from the Suns in that last game. Got some more defense in there in the starting lineup. And they do it back-to-back times here, Bavano.
Yeah, I laid it with Phoenix -4. I don't mind that they have the rest disadvantage here. Obviously, Charlotte played the other night against Cleveland, but Charlotte is just terrible right now. They can't find – we're putting Charlotte in a price range now where they have to win the game or come damn close, in order to cover the point spread. This is a Charlotte team that's on, a double-digit game losing streak coming into tonight. They've lost 10 in a row. They're even losing at home to lesser teams as well. Washington's beaten them twice. That's right. Washington has beaten them twice in these last 10 games. I get it. Phoenix played last night, but only Booker and Durant played into the 30s as far as minutes. Everyone else was 20s or less. It's not like they over-exaggerate or overworked themselves last night. You're putting Charlotte, a really struggling team right now, in a position where they've got to win the game or come close. I think it's a momentum bet for me here, taking Phoenix, a team that's trying to get on a run. What good is it winning last night if you piss it away and lose tonight to this struggling, reeling Charlotte team? So I think Phoenix -4 is worth a bet. Cheap price.
Dutchie, what you think about this one?
Yeah, man. So, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Maybe Babano too was on the Suns last night. Obviously no Embiid. Probably, I don't know. You might have got scared when they said no Embiid. That motherfucker. It might be better with his lazy ass out there. But shout out to the win though. Shout out to Phoenix. I want Phoenix to be good. There's levels to this shit, right? There should be. God damn it. But this is that fucking Fugazi shit I'm talking about right now. And I hate to put the negative out there because Bobano's on the other side, and we'll see where our boy Wham Bam's at. But why is it only 4.5? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Is it because of a back-to-back situation? I just feel like
actually moving 4.5. I'm seeing 5 starting to pop up. Okay. So there's some money starting to come in Phoenix.
That's good to see. I think everybody gonna go to the window and just any random motherfucker is gonna put the Phoenix on their money line, right? That's just what I think, honestly. So I can't. I'd have to take my ass to motherfucking counseling if I bet the Charlotte Hornets. I'll just be real. And Phoenix goes out there and busts their ass by 15. But as I cap this game, because today I sat down and capped every single game, and I usually don't do that. I'm being real. Like, I feel like Charlotte's the side here, but I'm gonna go ahead and pass to my boy Wham Bam. I'm not gonna bet against Bobana. I hope he wins. And I'm praying for Phoenix to come the fuck around. KD ain't gonna be around too much longer. God damn it! Don't make this motherfucker switch up again, because it's coming. If Phoenix don't get this shit together, he's ski out of there, my bro. He's out. So we shall see. We shall see. But no action for me. But fuck around. Watch these Hornets show up tonight.
Wham Bam.
Dan Kelly over there, listen to that new Jello. He's gonna swerve in that corner. He's gonna swerve on the corner with that he on the Charlotte money line. At least he likes it. That's what he's saying. So he's kind of leaning with Dutch right there. Man, I kind of feel like Babano, we should be trusting this team, but I think it's some issues here with the Suns possibly looking to try to get Jimmy Butler. And maybe there's some issues with Bradley Beal coming off the bench. He doesn't like the way everything is kind of shaping out right there. So that could be a reason why you want to trust the Hornets as well here, because, you know, they can only go up. You know what I'm saying? They was at the bottom for a long time. They could only go up. So that's the only reason why this number does seem a little appealing for the Hornets there, just because of the drama around the Suns right now, because of trade deadlines and things of that nature. Like we said yesterday with Babano, he said this is a weird spot to cap because the trade deadline coming. You got the All-Star weekend. You got some type of motivation to even be good for the rest of the season for some of these teams. So it's kind of hard to judge where teams are going to be directed. You know what I mean? So this is a good indication in that right here. In this line and everything. That's kind of why I want to leave it alone with Dutch too, because I am leaning towards the Hornets, but I could just see them celebrating with that damn song Skee in the background, you know what I'm saying, against this team. Like this is their Super Bowl type shit. So I'm gonna stay away from this game because I can see some bullshit happening at the end of the game. I'm gonna stay away from this game.
All right, next up, Lakers and Mavericks. Opened up Lakers -4. It's as high as 7, but mostly 6.5 right now. Total came down about 6.5 points to 218.5. We know Doncic and Irving are out, but now also Daniel Gafford and Exum's out too. For the Lakers, LeBron, AD questionable. Actually more probable. Vincent also probable, and it looks like Reddish is doubtful. So I'm gonna go to you first on this one, Dutch. We've seen the Mavericks 6 times without Luka and Kyrie. You know how many times they covered, Dutch?
0.
So there's another one, just no Luka. I mean, not only no Luka, no bueno, but no Kyrie too. What are we doing here, Dutch?
Yeah, man, this shit kind of depressing, honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when we start talking about the Dallas Mavericks, this shit's very depressing. I mean, what the fuck, Kyrie, man? It's your show right now, bro. I mean, you captain of the motherfucking ship, and I don't even know what the fuck's wrong with you, bro. Probably really actually nothing, but probably some mental shit, you know. Goddamn. This shit's so – because I want Dallas to – man, Luka, hopefully he comes back, gets shit to go. No Gafford. You know what I see tonight, though? I don't know who's laying a touchdown on the road with the Lakers, though. That's what I want to know. Who's doing that? I mean, good luck with that. I'm sure as hell not. But I'm not taking the motherfucking points with the Dallas Mavericks either, because this team is not doing quite well, as our boy Skee just said. So I think Spencer Dinwiddie over 12.5 points got to be live, bro. Right? I mean, he went to LA and got shit on. Right? LeBron set his ass down. I mean, shit. Bronny got more minutes than this motherfucker. Right? So, you know, he takes, you know, people probably didn't know he had a little stint there, but he did. He was in, he went to La La Land. He might, you know, he carried LeBron's bags in, and then he didn't even let it carry him the fuck out. That's how short of a stint it was. And he didn't really get no play. But we know he's capable. We've seen him have some, you know, we've seen him get down in Washington. We've seen him get down in Brooklyn. And he's had some games there in Dallas. Over 12.5. This motherfucker should get 25 tonight. You know, 25 tonight. So that's the only way I look at this game. Ain't no way I'm laying no motherfucking touchdown with the Lakers.
Wham Bam. Lakeshore night or what?
Yeah, I mean, that Detroit loss towards Christmas, you know, that was Christmas spirit. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Man, the Cleveland Cavaliers at that time was in great form. They were just whooping on people. Max Strus was just pretty much the reason why we lost that game. God damn. Then the Houston game, Houston's a pretty damn good team, bro. You know what I'm saying? Houston, pretty damn good team. Now, y'all should know what to do. Like my guy Skee said, it was like one of the things I wake up and I think about when the Lakers play. Hey man, let me put in this Reeves assist. Let me put this Reeves assist in here, lock this in. All right, cool. Now I'm gonna break down the game because whatever else happens after that, it's gonna be solid. I think AD should be an AD game, right? You know what I'm saying? This is like a AD type game where he just balls out in Texas. I don't know why certain players like to ball out in Texas, but it just seemed like AD gonna ball out today. And the only guy that I think that's gonna fall back, is the boy Spencer Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie, he probably he probably go try to play a little bit, but I think they're gonna put him in a box. I think Dorian Finney-Smith is gonna have his first real good game against his former Dallas team. I think this is probably going to be one of the best spots for the Lakers right here. I know the line is looking weird, but yeah, man, I'm on the Lakers, man. I'm on Reeves assist. I don't think y'all need to know too much about Reeves, but the Lakers, this is where I'm going to really trust them here. They are really stacked. If they don't cover this damn game, win by double digits, we'll never trust them again. But I think right now they're fighting for that fourth, fifth, third spot. They're not trying to be in the play-in like they were the last few years. They're trying to actually some games here. I think the Lakers is one of those teams I'm gonna try to trust them because I like the moves they making post trade deadline. I like the moves they're making, so it's kind of all right. I'm gonna start trusting them here. And this is a game. Come on, like you said, they haven't been covering. Dallas is pretty much looking shot. It's a PJ Washington show or not. And the only way they lose this is PJ Washington have a career night. That's what I would say. PJ Washington have a career night. Okay, shout out to y'all, but give me the Lakers. 6.5, 7, and I like the over 7.5 assists with Reeves.
Babano, Wham Bam, I'll say this first of all. The only reason I'm not taking props is because this could really get ugly and just be a blowout. And sometimes blowout is where props go to die. Babano, do you think it'll be a blowout?
I can't believe I'm laying points on the road with the Lakers, but I am. I mean, I cashed with Memphis last night against Dallas. That's 0-5 straight up in ATS without Dallas. No Kyrie, no Luka Doncic, no Ian. Betting the Dallas Mavericks. I can tell you that right now. And if anything, the Lakers are off that tough loss against Houston, 119-115. They had won 4 in a row and covered 4 in a row since then, playing, at least some better basketball. I mean, they're not the toughest of teams, but they did win 4 in a row. I'm just not seeing enough from Dallas at all. And plus, back-to-back for Dallas, rest advantage for the Lakers. Just to add on top of it. Now, 7 is getting a little pricey. It's getting a little rich for my blood at 7. I will admit that. I got in at 5 this morning. There were a couple books that had -5 with the Lakers. I'd still look to lay it with the Lakers before I take that. I'd need more points than even this with Dallas. Dallas has not shown me anything without Luka and Kyrie in the lineup. So Lakers for me at a better number, but I still definitely lean that way at the current number. Lakers or pass.
Yeah, it had to be Lakers or pass for me. Next up, we have Pelicans and Wolves. Opened up Wolves -5, now 4.5, and the total dropped about 1.5 to 222.5. We have, DeJounte Murray is game time. No Ingram, no Murphy, no Kane, but Zion Williamson back in the lineup for the Pelicans. So I got to ask Dutch again, man. You got Zion back at least. Is this going to be the Pelicanos or the Pelicans tonight?
Yo, it's crazy how things work out. Because how to start off the show talking about day shift, with these strippers. And then, of course, now Zion back. So, I mean, it's only right, man. It's only right. God damn. And this was one. So, I ain't going to lie. You get into the club, you start to, what happens, man? Especially during the day shift, you start taking these shots. Tequila. One, I start looking at Charlotte. I'm like, man, God damn, I know damn well I shouldn't be touching that motherfucker. But I want to, right? And then you take shot number 2. And it's the Pelicanos, man. Like, God damn it, look at this. Look at this bitch. But nah, man, it's just thanks somehow, some way. I can't do it. I can't go against Minnesota. I'm gonna take me another shot. And there's 3 of them on the card. And these we talking about 1 and 2 so far. The Pelicanos are live in this basketball game, ladies and gentlemen. If they're a game, if you have to bet this game, it's got to be the Pelicanos. But not me, my friend. Not me. I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna stay strong, party guy. Ski. My ass is gonna stay strong. And keep it moving, man. Back with this motherfucker. And that was exotic as fuck. I know. Super exotic. Believe it.
is bad for your health.
That's a good clip right there.
Yeah.
That's funny as fuck.
Who want to go, man? Who want to go?
Hey, I'll say this real quick though. I think CJ is going to be shooting a lot more threes. That's kind of what's been working for him lately. He had the 50-point game where he had 16 attempts. He followed that up with 11 attempts from three. So I think he still shoots a lot of threes in this game. So him going over 3.5 threes at plus 104. That's a play that I'm interested in and locking in right there. Other than that, that's the only thing I could make case for. So over 3. Okay.
And you I think you got rid of those Timberwolves. What you doing with this?
Oh, I had them last night. They just barely
Okay.
pulled it out for me on the money line there against the Clippers. But we're revoking their passport tonight because I like the Pelicans a little bit. I like the spot. Sets up nicely. Minnesota off a tough, hard-fought game. They had to hang on there. They had to gut it out at the end. Now you got to go on the road back-to-back here against rested New Orleans team. You know, getting Zion Williamson back. Look, I'm not a big Zion Williamson fan, but certainly will excite the crowd, and the team will be happy to see him back on the floor finally. We'll see if Murray suits up. They are still without Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy, it looks like, but still at this point in time, you know, New Orleans, you know, definitely the spot is in their favor, and they've actually played Minnesota very well. In fact, the last 3 meetings last year, New Orleans beat them twice, and the only Minnesota win was by 1 point over New Orleans. That's it. So Minnesota was in tough against this team last year. The last 3 times they played them, New Orleans won twice, and the only Minnesota victory was by a single point. So you're going to give me 4.5, 5 here with New Orleans. I think I'm going to take it. I like New Orleans here.
All right. I kind of lean towards New Orleans as well, man. I think that's the right side. Next up, we have Hawks and Jazz. And man, this one, you got the Hawks laying 6 points there on the road. Total went up from 235.5 as high as 239 right now. Injuries, Bogdanovich and Trae Young are both game time decisions tonight. Actually, both probable. No Jalen Johnson, though. No Larry Nance, no Zeller. For Utah, no Clarkson, no John Collins, no Keontae George. Markkanen is also questionable. So could be missing a lot of points in this game. But the total is going up. So I want to ask you first, Babano. What do you think about this total rising with all these question marks and people out?
Well, it's not just that. It's Utah's played some defense here suddenly the last couple games. Against Miami and Orlando, those 2 huge wins they had to end the road trip, held Miami to 100 points. I know Orlando's got offensive issues with everyone out there, but still, you know, for Utah standards, they've played some pretty good defense here the last 2 games. So that's part of the equation here is to, you know, now the total up to 239. That is pretty high. I did lean over initially, but then you start to see, you know, all these potentials to miss in this game, and you become a little bit concerned here. You know, the Hawks have not been good on this road trip. They've stepped up in class not very well at all. They lose to Denver by double digits, Lakers by double digits, Clippers by double digits. It feels like this should be a spot for them to kind of get back on track, but here's Utah coming in here feeling a little bit of confidence now with wins outright as a dog against Orlando and Miami to wrap up the trip. Back home now, this Jazz team, you know, not the greatest spot, but I don't know. After what I've seen from the Hawks, and, you know, I'm not ready to lay 6.5 with them. If anything, I lean Utah. And again, I think this could be an over game, but I want to wait and see who's in, because if you mentioned it, Skee, I'm not moving on a 239 when I see that there's, you know, Markkanen's a huge offensive component. You're already without Jordan Clarkson, gives this team a lot of offense. George and Collins as well. Bogdanovich is going to play, but Jalen Johnson, you lose a lot of offense on the Atlanta side. So it's a lot of points missing. If Markkanen's in, though, I still might bet the over small, but nothing significant. I lean Utah, honestly. I'm not laying 6.5 with Atlanta. Simple.
Fair. I mean, I get it. I have a feeling, Dutch. I mean, we pouring it up and take another shot right here or what?
Yeah, man. Hey, the time has arrived. You know what I'm saying? The time has arrived. Big shout out to our guy Matty Ice in the chat. Glad you were able to catch a live one, my guy. Salute to you. Yeah, the time's arrived. I took my third shot. You know what I mean? That shit was a little fatter than the first two. You know, went to the restroom and on my way back, we got the motherfucking Utah Jazz. And it's a pretty, we're going to make the best out of this one, god damn it. Ain't no way. And it's really what it is, the competition. This stand out. It just stand out compared to the competition. Ain't Atlanta, come on, man. You cannot be laying a touchdown with the Atlanta Hawks on the road. First of all, they've only won in Utah, won the last 5 trips to Utah. I mean, Bobano gave you everything you need to know about the goddamn game. I took the third shot, and it's the motherfucking Utah Jazz plus 6.5 at the crib. And I can't name half the motherfucking players on the goddamn roster who's been playing. I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. Jalen Johnson, my guy, is not playing for the other side. Utah Jazz, small bet, plus 6.5. It's good money.
Another one for the Jazz. Wham Bam. Will you make it 3 for the Utah Jazz tonight?
Ooh, Laurie Marketing coming back too, man. It seemed like a good spot. It seemed like a real good spot for the Jazz, bro. I like the over though, man. I like the over for sure. It just seems like the better play here just to take the over. The line is starting to move in that direction. These boys, as a favorite, as far as the Hawks, are 12-3, 2 to over. So far this season, I think that's probably the way I'm going here. Yeah, man, it's been pretty quiet over here, bro. It's he has his headphones on. Chill, well, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Bro, chilling over here. He out here. He got his headphones on. I really like this over though, man. I think the first half over is the play. And if I had to pick and choose who's the guy on the props here, maybe I'm just gonna go back to Colin Sexton. I did miss him on the last time I gave him out on the show. I think this is a good opportunity for him, but this is nothing I did bet here. So if I had to be the tiebreaker, I would say I'm going with y'all with the Jazz here too. I would push towards the Jazz here too, just because it's a lot of points, bro. So I just probably think that they make it a tough game.
Everybody like the Jazz, huh? Damn.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Third game in 4 nights for the Utah Jazz. I mean, they just won a game they wasn't supposed to win. They just gonna exhale tonight, I think. I don't know. Hawks, when the last time the Hawks played? They ain't played in a couple days. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll be not on the Utah Jazz. That's all I'm gonna say tonight. Celtics and Nuggets opened up. Celtics minus 5.5. It went up, I feel like, but it came back down. It's sitting right at 5.5. Total went from 236 to 237.5. And we have Caillou, Derek White, game time now. I think it said illness or something like that. For the Nuggets, we do know Aaron Gordon is still out for this team. Man, what you gonna do? Caillou questionable. How we gonna make some money in this one?
It's tough, bro. I think I hate the news too after I made the bet. You know what I'm saying? I hate the news after I made the bet. So it is what it is on that note. But for the most part, I think Caillou still goes out there and tough it out. He's one of the toughest people in the NBA, bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't never see him miss any games or anything like that. Hey, I definitely would take Lil Wim over Bronny, bro. I'm just being honest, bro. I think he's going to be more so like Bryce than Bronny. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, bro. He's not even 4 years old, Lil Wim, and he's already an AT, y'all. So it's only right that he gets that damn up there. So pause on that. But for the most part, I think like I'm on Derek White still over 3.5 threes. I'm still on that plus money. I still took that. Derek White gonna get it done for us. As long as he's in, if he's out, then we just gonna get our money back. That's the way I'm betting here. I like the Celtics in any game where there's competition. Wherever there's competition, we've seen them live up to it. The only time we don't see them live up to it is when they play somebody that's new putt, like little poo putt teams. One of these weak teams. That's when they don't show up. So in this game, I expect them to show up. I know the Denver Nuggets kind of could be down on their luck, but they got competitive guys on the other side in Jokic and Russell Westbrook. And I'm not going to name too much of the other guys, and Michael Porter Jr. and those guys yet, because they off and on. But for the most part, I think that they are going to be competitive in this game. I think the Celtics, even with I don't want Derek White to be out there, missed, because I am on the 3.5 threes. But even if he's out, I still think they're going to cover this 5.5, 6. So I like the Celtics here. That's the way I'll be locking in tonight.
I'm going to Bavano because the chat. I didn't see this last game, but one person said, "We got the Jazz," and then you know what this one is from Buford, looking for that bird call, but we're not getting it from Bavano in that game.
No, not
In this
tonight.
game, Celtics Nuggets. How do you feel about it?
This is obviously a interesting game. There's no doubt. Denver's actually been kind of a thorn in Boston's side. If you look at it, last 3 meetings, Denver victorious against the Celtics. So the Celtics have this game extra circled now. As a result, interesting question. You will not see me betting against Boston off a loss when they're only laying 5.5. So I guess by default for me, it's Celtics or pass in this game. Denver's kind of had their number. Denver's playing pretty well. They've won 4 of their last 5 games overall. That being said, the last time they faced a heavyweight at home, Cleveland ran them out in their building, 149-135, which leads me to what I do like in this game. I like the total over. I think we're going to see points scored in this game. It's been an over series history, Nuggets and Celtics. If you look at it, 4 of the last 5 meetings have gone over the total. I think Boston will score on Denver. Especially coming off being held down by one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, Oklahoma City, in their last. And by the way, we got the game of the year in the NBA coming up tomorrow night. Oklahoma City and Cleveland. We'll be talking about that. And combined 60 wins with those 2 teams head-to-head tomorrow night. What a game that's going to be. But here I like the over. Lean Boston. I considered it. But Denver's played them tough, and I don't want to lay 5.5. But I'm not stepping in front of Boston off a loss. So lean is Boston, but I'm not laying it. I do like this over, though. I think it gets over 237.5.
Dutch. Denver has. I mean, they have been playing pretty well lately, at least offensively. I don't know if I trust them defensively, but how you feel about this? They're getting 5.5 points at the house. Is that too much?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guy Lit Picks. I get money, and we're gonna get some money in this motherfucking game right here, man. Let's talk about it, man. Yeah, Beantown, they nice, man. They nice, but all they want to do is chuck up them goddamn threes. And Denver's had their way with them. They beat them 3 straight. I believe Bobano touched on that. They got absolutely nothing for Joker. So over 28.5 points, minus 125. He's had 30 plus against these boys 3 straight. And just been coasting. I mean, you've seen what he's been doing of late, so we don't even got to talk about it. Go to the window, 30 plus easy. They have absolutely nothing defensively for Joker. Most don't, and especially the Boston Celtics don't. Michael Porter Jr. over 2.5 threes is juicy. It's like 150, 160, but this motherfucker's hit that in 7 straight, had 4 plus and 5 out of those 7. So I wouldn't be mad at that. And I am on the Denver Nuggets here plus 5.5. It's just too much, man. It's too much. Denver's been chilling. I just think they're well equipped to beat this Boston Celtic team. So I think they can be in this game. As Bobano touched, last time a competitive team came in, they got smacked around by Cleveland. I think that actually helps out the Nuggets here in this situation. And Boston hasn't been playing the best basketball of late. When I've watched them play, they've looked soft as well. And you never know who's in or who's out. But at the end of the day, I think Joker, you might get a good game from Murray here, but I expect Porter to show up. And Russ is going to be competitive for 4 quarters. We know that. So give me the Denver Nuggets plus 5.5 and Joker over 28.5 points, minus 125 on them points. Skee, fellas, I got to slide up out of here. So I'm gonna give you this Bay business, man. Come on, man. I almost like this bet more than the Nuggets game here. I think this is a perfect situation here for Golden State. They lose by 30, right, to Sacramento, and then you get a team who played double overtime last night. So I think the number is big for a reason. I'm gonna be on the Warriors. They're gonna come out and play, and they're gonna put these motherfuckers away. Bay business. Believe that. Golden State, Dub Nation, -9, -9.5, whatever you can get. It's good money. Appreciate the time. I'll be back tomorrow. Full show. I'm off, so I gotta go.
See you, Dutch.
Wham bam, ski, as always. To the chat. Y'all run up them likes for the fellas.
Hit them upside the motherfucking head, as you'd say tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Believe that. All right.
All right, Dutchy. Yeah, I like them Warriors too, man.
Dutch will be back at the end of the show, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I like the Warriors too. It's absolutely no way I'm taking the Heat. in the spot that they're in on double overtime, and just the disgrace of how they lost that game. Like,
Yeah.
what? It was just so much bonehead shit. Like, I can't back a team like that. Golden State or nothing. Bavano, you agree?
Yeah, I laid 8.5 with Golden State. They're off a butt whipping at the hands of Sacramento, 129-99. I think they show up tonight. And look, the Heat have shown me, they've shown me they could play good for 3 quarters without Jimmy Butler. And then, of course, then they fell apart against Sacramento last night. And then they showed me nothing against Utah, the first game after the whole Jimmy Butler thing went down with his suspension, the fact he's played his last game with the Miami Heat. I thought the team would kind of rally and show what they're made of without Jimmy. And they've looked it's scary, actually, what we've seen from them. One game they didn't even show up at all against Utah, and then they pissed it away in the fourth quarter down the stretch last night against Sacramento, a game they were in control. So there's a little bit of a confidence issue and a fragile issue right now with Miami. So Golden State rest advantage, Golden State off their own blowout loss to Sacramento. I think they do show up here and get a double-digit win. So we'll lay the 8.5 with the Warriors.
Real quick, before I pass it to Wham Bam, any thoughts on team total over, what is it here, 112.5 for the Warriors? I mean, I can't see very much defense from the Heat tonight.
Yeah.
You agree with that one, Ian?
I would agree with that. Golden State team total, you could throw that in there. Like the numbers, I should say 8.5 is what I got, but it's 9.5. I'm even seeing 10 in some spots. So if you don't feel great about I think you can still lay it. I expect them to win by double digits. I'd say lay the current number too. But if you're feeling a little uneasy, you can take the team total instead because they should shred this Heat defense. I agree with that. They've been awful defensively these 2 games, Utah, Sacramento, back-to-back.
All right, Wham Bam, how you feeling about the Heat and the Warriors?
Kind of like Tracy Jackson Davis points 10.5 over. He didn't get anything to the bucket on the last game against that Sacramento Kings team game. He had 11 against Memphis. Prior to that, he didn't get to it against Philly, but before that, 16, 16, 15, 11, 13, 15. Had a good stretch of going over this number. I think I'm not going to say it correlates against the matchup here, but Tracy Jackson Davis is a play that I'm going to be on. So that's one thing I wanted to give out. I do agree with you guys with Golden State tonight. I think it's a good, just perfect spot for him. As far as the Heat, a lot of drama. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those teams that Jimmy Butler gets traded to. You know, it's a lot of guys on this team that they've been trying to trade, like Kuminga and them boys. So maybe auditioning is it up for some of these Warriors teams for today. You know, some secret handshake, executive box office type shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody on the Warriors side show up. I like Tracy Jackson Davis to get over his 10.5 points, though. So that's the only thing that I'm going to be for sure on outside the Warriors, like you guys.
All right. Good stuff. Dan Kelly thinks it could be a live bet situation. I think it's very hard. I like the Warriors. Some way, shape, or form. Team total or full game spread.
I'll add more Golden State if they fall behind early, Dan. Yeah.
All right, we're going to move to best bets. And per usual, got my guy Wham Bam first. Let the people know what you think is the best way to get paid.
I'm never going to tell y'all the Lakers are the best bet ever again until they start showing up like they are. So you don't worry about that, you guys. I do like CJ McCollum over 3.5 threes, though, at plus 104, plus 105, wherever you could get that at. I think CJ McCollum shows up, shoots a lot of threes, especially now that Zion's back, more of an inside out. They may collapse him, give him a little bit more of an open look than he has had over the last few games. So give me CJ over 3.5 threes. He just needs 4 tonight for us to get to the money, plus 104.
All right, good stuff. For myself, I'm going to go with Joker over 8.5 assists. He's hit it 5 of his last 6 games. He's hit it the last 3 times he's played the Celtics. He's averaging over 10 at home so far this season. And the Celtics just don't have a good matchup for him. They're going to have to double him and try to get the ball out of his hands. And we know he's a willing passer. So I like Jokic assist tonight as my best bet. Last but not least, slide it to Babano. He's going to let everybody know how to get to the window tonight and take us home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with those Pelicanos, New Orleans, plus 4.5 against Minnesota. Tough back-to-back for the Timberwolves. It was a hard-fought win against the Clippers last night. Pelicans trying to get some momentum going. And I think still and that's another, I think, the emotional element too. You're playing this first handful of games coming off the tragedy in New Orleans. I think, close to home. I think that inspires the home team here. Tough spot for Minnesota. We'll take New Orleans plus 4.5 against Minnesota for best bet for this Tuesday NBA card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate you tuning in to the NBA OG Crew NBA betting show, because the NBA is a hell of a drug and you're looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.
You guys ready? It's the plan, Bobby.
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always winged
You're
it.
gonna get killed.
What you mean, we, white boy?
You ready?
Here we go.